For our next bout of the evening, we go to the welterweight division. Jimmy Williams of New Haven, Connecticut takes on Lancaster, Pennsylvania's EVINCII DIXON. Williams with a record of 4-0-1. DIXON with a record 2-2-1. Both fighters weigh the same. They are also the same height. For our official ring introductions, we'll send it inside the ring to Jamie Beliveau.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 4-round bout in the welterweight division. The man in charge of the action at the bell, Hall of Fame referee, Johnny Callis. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and blue trunks. He weighed in at 146 pounds with 2 wins against 2 defeats, with 1 draw and 1 big win, coming by way of knockout. From Lancaster, Pennsylvania, introducing EVINCII prize fighter, DIXON. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black and silver trunks. He weighed in at 146 pounds. His professional record, 4 wins against 0 defeats, with 1 draw. 2 of those big wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from New Haven, Connecticut, here is Jimmy Quiet Storm Williams.
4 rounds of welterweight action between New Haven, Connecticut's Jimmy Williams and Lancaster, Pennsylvania's EVINCII DIXON. Peter Zimbort and Ted Panenjardis ringside calling the action here at the Fox Theater at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Williams coming off the lone blemish of his professional career thus far, a majority to draw to the fellow unbeaten Greg Jackson at the Mohegan Sun back in August. EVINCII DIXON also coming off a draw to Christian Lau, who was victorious in our most recent bout against Joe Wilson Jr. here at the Fox Theater. Jimmy Williams, a guy who began his career fighting on national television, no less, on the NBC Sports Network, and then due to circumstance gets national TV in his second fight as well on ESPN. Gotta love those guys that just happen to get on TV due to swing bouts. We have Williams wearing the black trunks with the silver trim, DIXON wearing the black trunks with the white trim here in this 4-round welterweight fight.
And Williams comes right out firing shots. Both guys in their career, in their brief careers, have fought some pretty tough opponents. They both have some good experience in the ring already.
EVINCII DIXON is on pace to fight every month of this year since starting his career in June. Had 3 fights across June, July, and August in his home state of Pennsylvania. And from November, October, now into November, has fought in New England with a fight against Nick DeLamba at the Twin River Event Center in Rhode Island in September, which he lost via decision.
And forget skills or anything like that. That's a testament to his durability, because that means there's no cuts, there's no injuries. He's right back in the gym and right back at it. Win, lose, or draw, that means you're going to see him again real soon.
Fought to a draw with Christian Lau at the Mohegan Sun in October, and here in November taking on Jimmy Williams. Announced to the ring and had written on his robe and written across his trunks, prize fighter. He calls himself EVINCII the prize fighter DIXON. And if you're going to be a prize fighter, you're going to be a guy that makes your living fighting. You want to fight often.
He's doing that for sure. He's definitely living up to that moniker right now. But right now he's letting Jimmy Williams basically fight his fight. He's on the outside snapping that jab, and DIXON's really not doing anything to dissuade that. I think DIXON maybe was lulling him to sleep there because it came with a nice little combination. I think both guys need to let their hands go a little more, especially Williams. He's going to be on the outside. He needs to snap that jab out a little bit more. Right there in the previous combination he threw, he would have been better served to double up that jab before he came over with the right hand.
DIXON has a very odd style. I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to do with Jimmy Williams. Looked like he blew him a kiss moments ago.
Well, the way he's cocked and ready to go, it's almost like he's just waiting to counterpunch, and he's waiting to time that jab that Williams keeps pulling out there. Sooner or later, he's going to time it. Williams needs to start throwing that jab with a little bit more authority. You don't know what kind of, being undefeated and getting a draw in his last fight, you don't know if that bruised his confidence at all. It's making him hold back a little bit here in the beginning stages.
Round one comes to a conclusion. Yeah, tough round to score.
Yeah, tough round. The only thing is Williams was, I think, a busier fighter, even if it was that pawing jab. But neither fighter really imposed as much of his will on the other that round.
So purely off activity, Jimmy Williams probably gets the first frame against EVINCII Dixon here in this 4-round welterweight contest from the Fox Theater at Foxwoods Casino. Peter Zimbor and Ted Panagiotis calling the action.
And I'm so happy this is in the Fox Theater. I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite rooms for boxing. There's been some great fights in this room, and you just feel so close no matter where you're sitting, and it's a good seat, and there's a lot of energy, and it's a good room for boxing. I'm glad that we're in this room tonight.
When the MGM Grand Theater opened up here at Foxwoods Casino, and that was going to be the new spot for boxing, and it is the spot for the big fights that do come to this venue, it was thought that this casino would be forgotten about, or this room within the casino would be forgotten about in relation to boxing. But thankfully, after a few years' absence, the Fox Theater has reemerged as a prime destination for boxing viewing in the New England region, because it's really not a bad seat in the house here.
No, and I think that actually was the plan. In fact, I think we might have did a show here, and they said this is the last boxing event at the Fox Theater, and I'm glad that didn't hold true, because this is a lot of memories in this room right here, and a lot of great fights that went down in here.
I believe that was Peter Manfredo against David Banks, if I'm not mistaken.
That might have been, yes. I think that was on ESPN.
Yes, it was.
And I'm surprised that both guys have come out so tentative, because you know that they both had to draw their last fight, so they know a 4-round fight, you can't really let any rounds get away.
And I think you nailed it right in the head earlier when you said that Dixon's looking to be a counterpuncher.
He's seeing now, though, that he's going to have to throw those hands a little bit more. He can't just rely on a counterpunch. In a 4-round fight, you can't, unless you got one-punch knockout power, which I don't believe Dixon really has at this point. I think Williams needs to somewhat vary his attack a little bit. He's just pulling that jab nonstop. Maybe drop a straight right lead in there, or a lead left hook, just something to mix it up a little bit. Nice right hand behind the jab that time from Williams. I've noticed with Williams, there's a lot of 1-2s. He's not throwing much left hooks, and I think he would have been had a nice shot to land those last two combinations. He missed the right hand, but that left hook was there for him.
Make him pay for it now. Make him pay for it.
And here in round two, it is Jimmy Williams' activity against EVINCII Dixon's attempt at timing.
Yeah, and again, in a 4-round fight, just relying solely on counterpunching is going to be a difficult way to win a fight. Even with Williams not doing a whole heck of a lot, he's still not going to get those points.
Round two comes to a conclusion between Jimmy Williams and EVINCII Dixon. We were talking earlier about some of the great fights which have taken place here at the Fox Theater at Foxwoods Resort Casino. I mentioned a few years ago a CES promoted card, Hank Lundy against Patrick Lopez, the former Venezuelan Olympian, which was a great fight.
And you can't forget the two wars, Scott Pemberton versus Omar Shika in this room, Scott Pemberton versus Charles Brewer. Those are just some classic moments that happened here.
Scott Pemberton and Omar Shika, two wars in this room, which were televised on ESPN's Friday Night Fights. Correct me if I'm wrong, Teddy, but tickets went on sale and were sold out very quickly for that rematch following the brutality of the first match.
Very quickly, and we can't forget the legend who should be in the Hall of Fame. Vinny Paz had his final fight here, his 50th win. That was a great fight itself. He fought many fights in this room. See, that's what you need to see right now in a 4-round fight. Step it up a little bit. Nice. Well, Williams came out with the right idea, and then he kind of thought twice about it.
Baby, go ahead. Let your hands go.
And the corner of EVINCII DIXON is chanting onto their fighter to let his hands go.
That's all he got.
Well, at this point, Williams came out with his best. He didn't knock him out, so now is the time that DIXON really needs to step up and start throwing those hands. In my card, he lost the first 2 rounds, not so much from a great performance from Williams, but just basically he didn't do anything. So the first 2 rounds you have to give to Williams, in my opinion, because DIXON didn't really do much. We saw a nice uppercut there a little while ago from Williams. The only punch I'm really not seeing so far from him that would definitely serve him well is a left hook. I haven't seen him throw many of them, and it's been an opportunity to land that on numerous occasions.
DIXON is showing more activity here in round 3 than he did in the previous 2 rounds, but not winning the round in my estimation.
No, and I think the only reason he's actually being a little more active is because Williams is being more active, so he's offering a little bit more counter-punching opportunities. He's not really initiating much. He's just playing off of what Williams does. There's that left hook. That might be one of the first ones I've seen him throw. Nice right hand from DIXON right there. Didn't seem to hurt Williams, but definitely scored a nice shot right there.
Round 3 comes to a conclusion between Jimmy Williams and EVINCII DIXON, and in between the last rounds, Teddy, we were talking about great fights which have taken place in this venue. Can't forget about the 2003 Boxing Writers Association Fight of the Year, cruiserweight title fight between Vasily Girov and James Toney took place here at the Fox Theater.
That was a tremendous fight, and in my opinion, that pretty much killed the career of Vasily Girov. That was such a war. I don't think Girov was ever the same fighter again after that. And at that point, he was so feared. And James Toney came in here, and James Toney is one of my all-time favorite fighters. And he came in here and he fought an unbelievable fight that night.
Also, the last ever cruiserweight fight televised by HBO, which I think is a shame because I think there's a lot of very exciting fighters in that division.
I think especially when they moved the weight division up to 200, that's opened up some exciting fights because you had some smaller heavyweights that are now moving down. I think it's a shame. It's definitely a shame. Now, in that last round, Dixon hit Williams with the best possible punch he's going to hit him with, and it didn't move him. So he must know now that he can't just one-punch knock out Williams. He's going to have to step up his game a little bit if he wants to pull this fight out, which he's going to have to do by knockout on my scorecard, as I've given all 3 rounds to Williams so far.
I would agree with you.
And for a guy who really needs this round, Dixon is not doing much. He's still waiting for that counter punch, hoping for the punch that might never come. When that final bell rings, he's going to be kicking himself in that corner. Unless he knows something that we don't, but I haven't seen anything in Williams that would make me think he could get knocked out with one shot right now.
Neither guy seems to be a one-punch knockout artist amongst these two.
Neither, nope.
Not to say they don't have power, just not that kind of power.
Yeah, a lot of fighters, they have power, but it's just enough to keep a guy off or enough to stun a guy but not knock him out. Nice right hand from Williams, definitely stunned Dixon right there. But Dixon came right back, a testament to his heart. Dixon's jawing and a little theatrics here, but at the end of the day, he's going to be on the losing end of a 40-36 decision unless he does something here.
He's doing all he can to try to draw Williams in.
Williams must know that he's got this fight under wraps and he's not going to take that risk. He's lunging in with that right hand. I've seen him do that numerous times tonight. It didn't affect him tonight, but as he steps up his level of competition, he's going to have to correct that mistake.
You mentioned at the beginning of this fight the durability of EVINCII Dixon, and when you don't engage much, it's easy to be durable, and that's why it's presumably easy for him to fight from month to month.
Yep, for sure. The only thing is, like tonight, he had his hands down. He's waiting for a counter punch. His testament to his durability tonight wasn't anything I saw from him. It's what I didn't see from Williams. Whereas Williams, fought a lot with that jab. He wasn't that offensive-minded. He didn't throw many left hooks, and he was lunging in with the right hand. He fought a good fight. He won the fight, but he needs to correct those mistakes if he wants to move forward and continue winning. If he wants to go back and fight the last guy he fought and get a victory, he's got to correct some of those mistakes for sure.
3 of our 4 professional fights tonight thus far have gone the distance. Solid matchmaking from Michael Parente of Classic Entertainment and Sports.
And even that fight right there, the scorecards might be lopsided, but it wasn't an overmatched fight. It was a very competitive fight. Dixon was in the fight. He just didn't fight the right fight. And maybe that's just Dixon's style, where he's going to be a counterpuncher every time he fights. But when you're fighting 4-round fights, unless you got one-punch knockout power, or at least power to hurt someone quick off of one shot, that's not going to be a very successful style for you.
Foxwoods taking their time, calculating and tabulating scorecards. Once again, you're watching CES Boxing, the Connecticut Classic, from the Fox Theater at Foxwoods Resort Casino in Connecticut. And now that the scorecards have been handed to our ring announcer, we'll go inside the ropes to Jamie Beliveau.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 4 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Judge Ken Ezzo scores about 39-37. Judge Bill Moran scores about 39-37. And Judge Robin Taylor scores about 39-37. You have a split decision for your winner, Jimmy the Quiet Storm Williams.
So all 3 judges have it 39-37, but announced as a split decision. So one of the 3 judges may have given the fight to DIXON.
I definitely will have to clarify that to see. I don't see how they could have given it to DIXON, however.
We'll see if we can grab a glimpse of that. Nevertheless, Jimmy Williams improves to 5-0-1. DIXON falls to 2-3-1. Jimmy Williams victorious over EVINCII DIXON via decision here in Connecticut.